What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak, and we have a special guest on the show, former 11-year NFL wide receiver, Marty Booker. Great to have you on, Marty.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having
Absolutely.
me.
Absolutely. It's an honor. So for those of you that don't know, Marty Booker played college at Louisiana Monroe and ranked second in school history in career catches. He played 11 seasons in the NFL with the Chicago Bears, Miami Dolphins, and Atlanta Falcons. Was a Pro Bowler in 2002 and over 100 catches in 2001. You played in 157 NFL games, started 117, 500 plus catches, 6,700 yards, and 37 touchdowns. What a career!
Pretty decent, I would
Yeah.
say.
in
Pretty decent.
a physical era too, huh?
Yeah, it was the time. Well, anytime you're in when I first started, it was called the Black and Blue Division. It was the
Yeah.
NFC Central. So it was all about running the ball, defense, everything. So, you know, receivers and big play offense wasn't like the norm for that division. So, it was a tough little road, but I enjoyed every bit of it. For me to be able to go out and you know break a couple of records there that stood for years and years and years, and knowing that Chicago has always been a defensive town and running about ball town. So, to come in and be able to do what I did, I was appreciative of that.
Yeah. Um, and then how would you characterize the Bears quarterback position while you were playing in the 2000s?
Wow, it was a lot of them. It was in and out. When I first came in and I got drafted, Eric Kramer was still quarterback. And then
Yeah.
he was released in the off season. And we had Jim Miller and Shane Matthews. And they had drafted Kate McNown with my class. So,
Wow.
uh, just going through all of those guys, I had uh, tremendous success with Jim. I had a little success with Shane, and Katie wasn't here that long, there in Chicago that long. So he had moved on, and then you know here comes Chris Chandler, uh, Henry Burris. It was quite a few. Cordell Stewart, Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
The list goes on. So you know to be able to still be able to do what I did, with the uncertainty at quarterback a lot, it was cool.
As a Bears fan, yeah, I lived through it, all these different quarterbacks,
Yeah,
hoping each time to get the right one, whether it was Rex Grossman, Cade McNown, Kyle Orton, Mitch
yeah, exactly.
Trubisky. Um, have you seen much of Justin Fields, and do you think the Bears may finally have their quarterback?
I think it's still too early to tell.
Yeah.
You know, um, the man has, first of all, is what we've gone through so many coaches in the last few years,
Yeah.
and just trying to figure out, offensive wise. The Bears come in and we try to get offensive guy to try to figure out the offensive woes, and then you get a defensive guy to get back the defensive. It's been so crazy, and
Yeah.
hasn't been any consistency throughout the whole thing. So, um, for as Justin Fields, of course, there's promising ability there. There's promising for the offense to be high powered. Right now, you have to get some weapons around him. He has
Yes.
absolutely nothing, and running the ball the way he does is it's great and it's awesome to see. But let's be realistic. That can only last for so long. You still
Yeah.
have to be an efficient quarterback with throwing the ball, and like I said, he has to get the weapons to have him out. All in all, that's all comes down to the offensive coordinator.
Yep.
They have to do a great job of putting him in the right situations, so they're not beating him up and he's not getting beat up from running all the time. So it's going to all boil down to what the offensive coordinator does and how
Yep.
they protect him and how they set up play calling for him to succeed. Because he has all the ability to succeed. It's just a matter of how they put him in a situation to succeed.
Absolutely. You don't have a year or two left, right? You could probably come in and be wide receiver 1 right now.
Hey, if they gonna pay me, I'll be there in a heartbeat. I try to stay in shape and all that stuff. But if they would, I'll be there in a heartbeat. We all
That's awesome.
these are
Um,
boys. I don't think I could take all that punishment.
yeah, yeah. Um, so on Saturday, the first game, Patrick Mahomes suffered a high ankle sprain early in that game. Have you dealt with a high ankle sprain before, and how difficult is that?
Yes, I dealt with one 2003. Um, we were playing New Orleans in New Orleans. Family comes, I get all my family there. I got like over 20 tickets and all of that stuff. And we run a crazy reverse. And I remember it like it's night and day. I'm running the reverse and I see defensive end for the New Orleans, Charles White, just standing out there. And I tried to give him a move or whatever, but he didn't bite on it, and he kind of grabbed me from behind and he put his weight on me and pulled me back and sat down on my ankle. And I knew right away because I felt it, up in my shin area and everything. So I knew right away it was pretty bad. I couldn't get up and walk on it or whatever. And I was out for at least 4 to 6 weeks. But
Wow.
no, I couldn't do anything on it. It's a little bit different from me because I was, we're running routes, so we
Yeah.
need the ability to stop, start, and cut and here and there. He with Patrick Mahomes is on a bum ankle is better than half the starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Period.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic with that.
Yeah.
And me being playing quarterback in high school and the first couple of years of college, that's your plant leg. So once he drops back and sets, that's his power leg. That's what he pushes off of to make his throws. That's going to be difficult. As you can see, when he got hurt, he was doing whatever he can. He was doing jump passes, anything to get some to generate power because he couldn't generate power on that back leg. So he was doing anything he could to jump passes and here and there, just anything he could to get on the front foot or the jump or whatever, just to get some velocity on the ball and get some power on the ball and get it there. So it's all timing and everything. Because if he doesn't, it gets picked off or batted down or incomplete pass. So I'm quite sure they're going to do everything in their power to have him ready and taped up, whatever to do so he could get through that game. And I know he'll be out there and he'll be giving 110% of trying to do whatever he can. But I there will be some drop off with that, but I still expect Patrick Mahomes to be Patrick Mahomes, however he can be, no
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch and see how he does, playing through that. And they got a great team coming in, Joe
Yeah,
Burrow and those Bengals. So
exactly. Those guys, it's funny how they operate. They
yeah.
just fly under the radar and everything. Nobody pays them any attention. And then once it starts to get late in the season, you hear all the buzz. Then they go into playoffs, and then next thing you know, they're back in the conference championship or they're beating people up. So
Yeah.
it's they're just man, just for them to have lost the offensive lineman that they've lost and to still be in the position that they are. You know,
Yeah.
they have
Very
wet.
incredible.
Joe Burrow has Joe. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. He has all the weapons in the world, so it's going to be tough for Kansas City to beat them and get that revenge from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for that game.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles, I mean, they were like, I believe, the 7th seed last year. And coincidentally or not coincidentally, they trade for A.J. Brown. And now look at them. They're contenders and they're the number 1 seed. Do you think that that's everything right there? You give a good up and coming young quarterback a stud receiver and watch him take off, right?
You do, but I'm gonna halt right there because San Francisco defense is
Yeah.
is high power. Now
Yep.
it it's all gonna come down to which offensive line. It's gonna come down to the offensive line and defensive line, both lines for each team. Who dominates who? Because they both have weapons. They both have great offense. They both have great defenses. Who is going to show up in the trenches and
Yes.
win in the trenches? That's who's going to win the game. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Because it's going to be all about running the ball. I'm quite sure it's going to be cold, whatever. There's no telling what the weather's going to be at that time. And in the playoffs, it's all about who can run the ball. So I expect it to be an interesting game. It won't be the Philly Giants what we saw last week. I guarantee it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That.
There's
So
an old school physicality in that.
yeah, that one's going to be a really good game. I'm excited for that one, no doubt.
Yeah. So here's one for you. So, you know, being a Bears fan, growing up, we think playoffs, we think cold and snow, right? Same
Yeah,
with the Buffalo Bills and their Bills Mafia. And they had snow on Sunday, and yet the Bengals come in and surprise them. There's been
yeah.
a lot of talk in Chicago about a new stadium going up and them going to a dome. Of all, I can't believe it as a Bears fan. I'm not a fan, but do you think that playing in the cold and the snow is actually an advantage for a home team?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yes,
And
I
it's
agree.
too because I've gotten both extremes.
Yeah.
Being in Chicago with the cold weather and then being in Miami with the heat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen teams come down to Miami and just pass out. They have to run and get IVs and all of that stuff. And then the same with people from the South coming up to the North in Chicago and dealing with the snow and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's it kind of goes both ways, but man, Chicago that I don't
I know.
yeah, that just kills the nostalgia of the Windy City, Chicago Bears football way of
Yeah.
doing it. I
Yeah.
just think it kills it, you know. So I get the city of Chicago is trying their best to entice and keep the Bears there at Soldier Field, but I don't know about the whole dome thing.
I said at
Whatever
least
you want, but I just don't. I'm not a fan of the dome thing.
there better be a retractable roof on that so we can get some snow.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, if the weather gets really bad, what they're gonna do?
I know. That's my worry. Yeah.
So they close it anyway. So it's what's the point of the retractable anyway? What you're gonna use it? What the first 2 months of football season, August and September? It gets cold pretty quick. So and the weather can shift pretty quick in Chicago. So I
Yeah.
just I just don't get when
You don't see Lambeau putting up a dome. You don't see Green Bay doing that.
exactly. So it's just weird to me. But
Yeah.
whatever they can do to try to keep them there, hey, whatever they can do.
Yep. Let's see here. Something to keep an eye on for the Chiefs Bengals. The Bengals have beaten them 3 straight times. So and post game there was some Bengal fans calling Arrowhead Joe Burrowhead. Do you
Of
think they
course,
should?
of course. Man, hey,
It's dangerous to be talking like that and going into a big playoff game.
it is, but we're talking about Joe Cool now.
Yeah.
Hey, that kid there, bro, he's cool under pressure. The way they play football, and it's the right time where they always show up.
hmm
And then it, it will be a little bit different, maybe a little bit of percentage higher, but you know, Patrick Mahomes he's hurt a little bit. He's he's not going to be as mobile as he wants to be, and we've seen from time and time again, especially in the playoffs, he makes a big play with his legs at
Yeah.
some given point in the game, to kind of break it open a little bit. He's not going to be able to do that. He's
Yeah.
not going to be able to move around like that. So that's a big negative, but like I said, they'll do a great job of keeping him in the pocket and protecting him and helping him get the ball out quick. And with all of their little, you know, funky little plays that they run, no telling what they're gonna come out with to kind of, help all of that and slow things down.
Yeah. Absolutely. Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs was seen yelling at Josh Allen, waving his hands in the air, pretty much like "Give me the damn ball." How how hard is that quarterback wide receiver relationship, especially when losing in a big game? And we all know how the media likes to label wide receivers as divas. What do you think on that?
I think it's blown out of proportion.
Yes.
It happens in games. It just so happened to be at a big pivotal game and a playoff game at home that you can't get the ball to your star receiver, and that stuff happens. You're off. That it happens. Just unfortunately, it happened at the wrong time, and
Yeah.
that's in a playoff game at home.
Yeah.
You know, the, that happens all the time. I've cursed out coaches and quarterbacks many times about getting the damn ball, but we all get heated because
hmm
we want to help each other do this and win and all of that stuff. So it gets heated all the time. I just think that one's kind of blown out of proportion. And all he did was just throw his arms up and everything. It's not like he
Yeah.
like hearing anything of him screaming or anything. So just for him doing that, of course, it's blown out of proportion. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's the media, right?
Oh, of course, they have to find a story, and then Bills are number one seed. Everyone expected them to kind of just run through everybody, especially being at home. So
Yeah.
with like you said, with the home field advantage, and you know we expect the Bills, their high powered offense. We expect them to be points on the board, and for them to look flat like they did, and Cincinnati just moving the ball up and down the field on them, and Buffalo couldn't stop them, and it was out of character. So of course, for media, they're gonna look for stories to try to find out, or label or something to put this on this, just so I can find a story to find out what went wrong with Buffalo.
Absolutely. That's a good take. Um, so for the second year in a row, we've been blessed with 49ers against Cowboys in the playoffs. Do you remember watching 49ers Cowboys back in the 90s?
Yes, that's all that was in the NFC Championship
Yeah.
was was San Fran and Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan. I despise the Cowboys. With a passion, and I grew up hating them, and I
Yeah.
still hate them. But that's all you saw, and that's because those were your two top teams. You see what you saw your top players flip flopping After they go from Dallas, they go to San Fran. And then you see them come back to Dallas. You take Charles Haley and Dion. You know, both of them played with Dallas. Both of them played with San Fran in them times,
Mm-hmm.
going back and forth with the NFC Championship. So that was just always a big time rivalry and everything. So it was cool to watch that, and I was a big football fan growing up. So it was always cool to watch you guys go at it.
Oh yeah. Um, and then so this is just torture for me being a Bears fan and our fan base. We can't get a quarterback right. You know, we missed so many first round picks. And here's the 49ers drafting Mr. Irrelevant. And now Brock Purdy is 7-0 as a starter, and he's got the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. How impressive is that? I mean, I don't think we've seen anything like this since Tom Brady.
Hey, first of all, the guy can play. I don't listen. People might talk mess or whatever, but I feel like I don't care where you're drafted at. If you get drafted in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
you have to know how to play football.
Yeah.
So obviously the guy knows how to play football. Now, say this, he has Kyle Shanahan too.
Yes.
And Kyle Shanahan knows how to protect and knows what to do and how to get the best out of his quarterbacks.
Yep.
Let's be realistic with that. So Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing. Kyle Shanahan knows how to call plays. Kyle Shanahan knows how to run an offense.
Yep.
And that's no knock on, and I say that the Bears is just, it is what it is. That's not no knock on any of the coaches or whatever. But
Yep.
if you have a good offensive coordinator, I don't care if you put somebody in that system, he'll find out how to make that go and how to make that quarterback, know how to get the best out of that quarterback. For
Mm-hmm.
Brock, for Brock Purdy, it's all about just don't turn the ball over.
Yep.
He's going to put him in the right situation and put him in the right situation to hit the open guy. It's just on him to take care of the football, and that's what Brock Purdy has done, is taking care of the football. As long
Yep.
as he do, those guys will win, especially with that defense flying
Yeah.
around.
Yeah. That defense is so nasty.
So it's just control the ball. He got weapons. You got Chris McCaffrey in the backfield. You got you. You got AJ Brown. I mean, not AJ Brown. You got Debo running,
Kittle.
catching the
All
ball.
those things.
Just
Yep.
got Kittle. You got so many weapons, weapons. So
Yep.
just take care of the football and you win the game.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you're a predictions guy, but what do you think? Eagles, Niners. What do you think?
I'm going Niners.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I'm going Niners, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, me too.
Taking it back to what Super Bowl was that?
I want to say like 1988.
I think so. I can't remember. I know it was in the Superdome, I think.
Yeah.
And San Francisco beat the brakes off of them boys. But yeah, I see another preview of that.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be awesome.
Just the teams in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I like the old school feel of the playoffs this year. We got Niners, Cowboys, might have Niners, Bengals.
Yeah,
Even the Eagles being back up there. It's good for the
you're
league.
that you've grown up seeing. That's always been there.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's interesting.
Well, I mean, we appreciate your time coming on. That's all the questions I have for you. But man, it was an honor to have you on. I told you pregame you were the first Bears jersey I ever had, Marty Booker 86. So
I
I love
appreciate it.
it,
I
man.
appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. So thanks for coming on. Do you have anything you want to plug or anything that's going on in your life?
Nah, not really. I'm just enjoying my life, man. Enjoying my family, enjoying my kids. It's just I have to get back up to Chicago and visit or whatever, and
Yeah.
stuff because I still get a lot of messages from fans and stuff. So I've always believed and loved the fans there in Chicago. They were always great to me. So I have to get back up there and show face and stuff. But again, thank you for having me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, it was an honor, and thanks for your time, and have a great one, Marty. You're the man.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Alex. All right.
Yep. All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and have a great week, guys. Peace out.